Love the right side. It's such the party part of the brain.
It is such
I do
a
love
party.
it. You just gotta let it flow.
We've been told to turn off the party for our whole lives.
I know. I find more and more people looking for alternative ways to stabilize.
Yeah.
And energy healing has been coming up often as one of those. So let's get into the basics. What is energy healing and how does it work?
Okay, so energy healing is really a blanket term. It's a blanket term for a bunch of different modalities that are all centered on sort of the same idea that everything that exists is energy. And when you break down our physical body to its basis level scientifically, you get to particles and atoms and electrons and protons, and then eventually down to little photons of light. All of that is energy. All of that has an electromagnetic field around it. All of that is interacting with itself. The energetic practitioners are aware of that. And when you're aware of that, that literally the planet that we're on, all of us individually, we are all, every single thing that you see around you in your life is energy, then the possibility of interacting and engaging with that in a focused way to try to bring new possibilities to a set of circumstances is huge. So energy healing in general is basically concentrated intention, concentrated focus, and there's a lot of different modalities that can help do this.
Yeah.
To try to shift a set of circumstances and patterns that are currently in play.
Yes. But as we were talking about before the camera started rolling, is there's more and more evidence that you can have more scientific-based evidence that's coming out now.
Yeah, science is catching up. It's awesome.
It's about bloody time, right?
Science is catching up. There's every single ancient modality, ancient civilization on the planet had some sort of healing modality that westernized industrial society has decided wasn't legit. You know, there's the meridian systems and acupuncture and that was mapped thousands and thousands of years ago. All the meridian systems were mapped thousands and thousands of years ago. And only recently have scientists found, and finally the technology caught up, that they can now map and track what meridians are. There's a little machine you can hold to your face.
Oh, wow.
Or your face or your whole body that will actually accurately find the acupuncture points that have been mapped years and thousands of years ago.
Even as you feel it implicitly, why are we so resistant to tap into it, really?
We've really been conditioned to think that we're separate from the reality around us. Like, we see ourselves as separate. We, as the industrial age came and we moved farther and farther away from nature, that natural connectivity that we had and the connectivity that you have when you're walking in a forest and you just kind of feel it around you that it's alive. You know, we've rationalized like, no, I know it's alive because my brain tells me that. Not because I'm actually sensing it and experiencing it in more ways than just my brain. We've put all of our power into this idea that our brain is what is controlling everything, but we actually have a ton more senses available to us at all times. You know, if your eyes are closed and you walk into a room, you can still sense, you have a feeling, you know when someone's standing behind you.
Absolutely.
The sensory input that's coming from the right. They're literally numbed off to it.
Yeah. So something like somebody who can see auras, is that something you're born with to begin with that you can then develop?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Some people are born being able to see auras. Actually, lots of kids can see it. And then eventually we get told that thing that we saw in the corner isn't real and shut it down a lot. There's actually a lot of kids that are just seeing physical manifestations or energetic manifestations of information, whether it be what is considered to be like a spirit guide or just, you know, invisible friends are often
That's what I was just going to say.
Actually, like manifestations of things. So a lot of the most common modalities, there's people work with crystals, they've heard of Reiki, let's see, what's another one? Qigong, which is a movement. It's sort of a martial movement energy modality that's about freeing up the energy lines in the body. Acupuncture I would consider to be an energetic modality. There are all different ways of tapping in based upon what the crystal is made of. what its natural components are. Everything has a frequency, right? A vibration. Like based upon what it is made of, it will have a different natural frequency that it vibrates at. You know, diamonds will have a higher frequency than stones that have more impurities in them. Impurities. Nothing's impure, but you know what I mean. And so based upon what that frequency is, when you match it to different parts of your body, our body has a frequency to it, a vibration to it as well, which is, what is that? It's literally just how fast our atoms and molecules are zipping around in there. It's just that. How fast is your field going? And
just generally, higher is better. Raise your vibrations, because you do hear that all the time.
Higher is just different. You're working with a different set of emotions. So they've actually scientifically been able to map the frequency range of different emotions. So your happier emotions, your joy, your love, your peace, they have a much higher frequency than anger, rage, despair. They have a lower, and when you're depressed, you do feel like you can barely move. When you're happy, you're zipping around.
They talk a lot about Sedona as an example, where some places just have, I don't know whether it's vortexes, or vortices. I talked to people there who were like, it's a marketing gimmick. Like people who've grown up in Sedona. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who swear that there's real energy there. It's totally surreal.
I went.
It's amazing.
It's a thing.
So what do you...
Shasta. Out Shasta.
Exactly. Or, even as I was reading, even the beaches supposedly have higher vibrations or whatever it is. So there are then all places then are also not created equal. Is that true?
Yes, that's very true.
Okay.
There's this idea that the planet also has chakras, and they're in different locations around the planet. Yeah. And so it's really cool. Yeah. And when you go to those places, generally what they're feeling and what they're sensing is that it's a little less condensed. The energy in that place is a little less dense and more of a pure stream of information comes through, of clear information from the planet comes through.
Which one of these modalities would you start with, or how do you even know which one?
Yeah, so that's for the intuitive or psychic or whoever, the energetic healer that you're working with, to decide based upon what they're proficient in, based upon how their senses work together. So I tune into the body. I like to assess. I've been trained in an energetic modality called matrix energetics. That is basically, it's like applied quantum physics.
Well, there you go.
It's super esoteric and abstract and awesome and really fun and totally ridiculous. So when I'm tuning in, and the idea of tuning in is just opening up your awareness to say, okay, I'm seeing the physical body, but what else is there? Right. I can sense where there's stuck. If the whole system's kind of moving, but that part isn't, something's up there. My attention goes there. I notice it. How do you know that something has a little blockage in it? Did you notice it? Yeah, my eyes went right there. Or I'll hear, ancestral issue, long lineage of a pattern. I'll see this pattern sort of unfolding, and it'll point to ancestral, and then I'll just ask more questions. Honestly, the best energy work is just getting a little bit of information, asking more questions, getting some more information, asking more questions. Okay, what needs to happen? How do I fix that? What needs to come in to help that?
So is meditation then something that would be part of this?
Meditation is amazing.
And again, something that's very mainstream today. I've been, I grew up in India. I've been doing yoga for 30 years, and some part of that has been meditation, but I'm still not sure I'm doing it right.
Right. We never are. Well, our brains are very chattery.
It
has a lot of information. One of the things that meditation does, it helps to strengthen it makes the connection to the left and right brain stronger.
Oh, interesting.
So that it becomes, I think it's the corpus callosum that connects the two. You actually develop more fibers. Like long-term meditators will have more fibers connecting the left and right hemisphere of your brain.
Interesting.
Than people who don't. And so the more those places can have a conversation,
the more balance, I suppose.
The more balance it is.
Nice.
People call it psychic or intuitives. they all, each word that, how do you talk about this? How do you be I see things. You know, like,
right, yeah. I see dead people. Yeah, we've been there.
People,
yeah.
I perceive things. So you'll call it intuitives or psychics or just, you know, energetic practitioners. Everyone's just basically working in the field of knowing that there's more than just the physical reality that everyone's seeing.
How do you find a true energy healer? What do you look for?
Yeah, what do you look for? So, it's a hard question.
I know, it's a tricky one. Yeah.
No, it's a hard question because, I mean, I have a few different ideas. Most importantly, and then I'll give you some tangible things, it's learning to trust your intuition. Whether or not some practitioner seems legit is the most important thing. Like, does your gut tell you, did you pass by this place and then you've been thinking about it for weeks and weeks or years of wanting to check it out? Maybe check it out. Maybe there's information for you there. And regardless of how unbelievably psychic the person may be, because no psychic is made alike, and everyone has a different level of awareness.
Yeah.
And everyone has a different facility and capacity and different sets of skills that are fine-tuned and honed. So no one has all of your answers. No one has all. No.
So there's
don't
the
give
crystal
them that
ball
much
just
power.
is not right.
They don't need that much power.
Yeah.
They are giving you information that they're tuning into, and you can decide what feels appropriate for you. If you felt called to check, if you felt like you were seeking and searching for something, and this person showed up, then there's something there.
And there might also be some version of a placebo effect in terms of how you feel better.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what makes it even trickier because you're not necessarily taking anything, but you're expecting some sort of result.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
So I love that. I love that you brought that up because who cares?
That's what I was just going to
It's like,
say. If you're feeling
did
better.
it work?
Yeah.
Does it matter? Would you rather have taken a chemical to make that work?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have let it actually
Work itself out.
like, cool, myself just tricked myself
That's
into
right.
healing this whole thing.
Yeah.
You can have different training in medicine, energy medicine modalities and principles, and let that
like
inform.
acupuncture, for instance.
Yeah,
You can
and let that inform the work that you do.
Yeah.
They can also just show up and start talking to you.
Are my grandparents talking to you right now? Because I need a
I'm
word.
not tuned in, but I could probably, anyway.
They're probably floating around somewhere. Hi. If you want to bring that awakening into your life at an early stage, what is that stage and what's the first baby step?
Well, if you've been enraptured by this conversation the entire time, my guess is that some part of you is actually wanting this in your life. So look into it. I'd say if you're curious about it, go for it. It doesn't have to be a last resort. You don't have to wait for something to be going wrong in your system to check it out. It's just that some of us have such resistance to it that that's how it has to come through. We're so good at putting on a lovely sheen.
Is there also a risk of it overpowering you in some way? Is there a dark
There's a lot
side?
of fear of that risk. I've definitely had some crazy experiences that did not feel good or helpful at the time. And afterwards, it was when I realized that actually, because I just had such a strong fear of being overtaken by something like this, I was actually kind of
Self-professing.
Yes, I was like
Self-fulfilled prophecy.
Exactly. I was just kind of calling that sort of a experience in, and so that's real.
We often hear the energy you put out in the world is what you get back.
Yeah.
The negative, the positive. So how does that work?
Well, it is true. I mean, law of attraction is a thing.
Again, especially today when we're so busy, we're not even conscious of the negativity that we might be putting out. It might be not complaining, for instance, right?
Our conscious brain is some like 10% of the function. The rest of it's unconscious programming. It's just enacting. It's on repeat. When you're consciously not thinking, I am love, I am light, I am the gift of the universe, I am, I am love, I am gratitude of all the things. Then you like tune out because you gotta like go to the bathroom or like make breakfast
or
like
do some
do
damn
your
show
work.
on like a Wednesday
afternoon. You gotta do a show on a Wednesday. then your unconscious programming takes over and just starts sort of emitting the signals that are there. And that's another great reason for energy work. And for the modalities, the deep subconscious modalities that are trying to bring information through and out, because what's under there is actually what's emitting through your system and what's being pinged to the universe, and that's attracting things to it.
Interesting.
Ping, ping, ping.
We hear this a lot nowadays, affirmations, right? Same thing. And so, but then, if you don't believe it, can you fake it till you make it?
You can.
If your body's smart enough to know the difference?
You can retrain your subconscious through affirmations to encode that information. At the same time, though, you want to make sure that while you're doing that, you're also clearing the subconscious of the opposing information that's there.
How do you do that?
One of the best ways to do that I found, one of the best ways to do that I found is through EFT, the tapping that you see me doing again right now.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some powerful stuff here, and science or no science, cool. we have evidence.
Yeah, placebo, nocebo, nothing. Who cares?
Who cares?
I'm happy to have my knees back.